Alright, mythology students. So, if you are watching this video, that means that you have completed all of the work leading up to this video, which is going to be, once I finish it, posted in between the Judgment of Paris discussion questions and the 12 characteristics of a hero's journey. This is just simply a hard copy of the notes that I'm going to be narrating today. So, if you are watching this video, that means that you have read and completed the guided reading questions for both the Judgment of Paris and the Tides of War. Now, these 12 characteristics of a hero's journey and the first 3 that we're going to be introduced to today deal specifically with the story, the Tides of War. Okay? In the Iliad and the Odyssey, our hero is going to be, or the hero that we are going to focus on is going to be Odysseus. Alright, now the reason that I'm just covering the first 3 characteristics of a hero's journey is because we only see the first 3 characteristics of the hero's journey in this Tides of War. The remaining stories that we are going to read next week, or excuse me, in 2 weeks, I guess it depends on when you're viewing this video, is going to be focused mainly on Paris and Helen. Okay, so we're going to kind of shy away from Odysseus for a few stories, but then come at the end of April, we're going to hop back into reading about Odysseus, where we will pick up with the remaining 9 characteristics of a hero's journey. So basically, the reason I'm telling you that is we're only focusing on the first 3 characteristics of the hero's journey, and then when you get to watching this video with examples from Disney movies, you can stop the video after the first 3 if you'd like. I am going to have these notes and this video in the Schoology folder come a couple weeks when we finish up the remaining 9 characteristics. So basically, what I want to preface these notes with is just saying that in a lot of stories there obviously is a hero. Now this hero follows a very similar pattern in a lot of stories. Now it's not obviously not the same because every story is different, but there are 12 stages that a hero generally completes in a well-written story. So we are going to analyze Odysseus and how he meets these 12 stages of a hero's journey. So the first 3 and the only 3 that we're going to cover today are him in his ordinary world, his call to adventure, and his refusal of the call. Let's get started. So, like I said, we're going to cover Odysseus in his ordinary world, call to adventure, and refusal of the call. And since you've already read this story, hopefully you can start beginning to think about how Odysseus met these 3 characteristics in the story. So, first, the ordinary world. The hero starts out in his or her normal world, okay? Plain and simple, all right? This is before their adventure begins. So I want you to start thinking about what is Odysseus's normal world, okay? Where does he start out before his adventure begins? The second characteristic of a hero's journey is the call to adventure, okay? This is where the hero is faced with something that makes him or her begin his or her adventure, okay? So what is it in this story, The Tides of War, that Odysseus faces that makes him begin his adventure, okay? This might be a problem or challenge that he or she needs to overcome. So what is this problem that is presented to Odysseus that he needs to overcome? Okay, this is the second characteristic of a hero's journey, and Odysseus meets it in this reading. The last characteristic of a hero's journey that we're going to cover today is the refusal of the call. Okay, the hero in this stage is reluctant at first, and he or she simply does not want to accept the challenge. Okay, this is mainly out of fear or uncertainty, but by all means, the hero simply does not want to accept this challenge and begin this adventure, but there is something that generally pushes them to do so, such as, we'll get into the 4th characteristic here later on, but a meeting with a mentor. Okay, so please, for this story, I want you to really focus on how Odysseus starts out in his ordinary world, has a call to adventure and what it is, and why he refuses the call. Okay, you will notice that these are the Tides of War discussion questions. So what I would like you to do before you take the quiz on these two stories is answer how Odysseus, in complete sentences please, how Odysseus meets these first three characteristics, okay? You will not be able to unlock the quiz and take it until you post a comment on how Odysseus has met these first three characteristics. If you need help, please let me know. But that is it. We will come back to the other 9 characteristics here in about roughly 2 weeks. All right? Let me know if you have any questions, mythology students.